The deadliest carnival rides. Let's get right into it.
Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? Come on and sit on down because today we're talking about carnival rides or state fair rides. It doesn't really matter. Bad, crazy rides. You know, earlier this year we talked about the horrors of amusement parks, the kind of crazy things that can happen at places that are supposed to bring so much joy. Well, take away all the production value and make it a caravan of nobodies, and by God, you got yourself a carnival. Long are the days of the carnival being something that's full of mystique.
Is he wrong? Not at all.
Those elephants that roll on a ball.
Those are circuses.
That's a circus. With fun games and funnel cakes. No. They have devolved horribly. I don't know how it's legal.
What's the difference? What's the difference between a carnival, a fair, and a circus? I'm throwing circus in there because I know circus is something, but I want people to like defer it. It's carnival, circus, and the fair. Oh, and amusement park. I think amusement park is bigger. Carnival is like a, you know what I'm saying, small local thing. I don't know. Somebody in the comments tell me what that would be. What's the difference?
Is regulating these rides. Look at us, dude. They're just getting bribed off by fucking funnel cakes in that duck game. And every one of these, it's always like a giant hydraulic press. Like the whole thing balancing the center of gravity is a hydraulic press on top of an old wooden piece in the middle of like a cracked asphalt. Hydraulic fuel, water everywhere. It's never been more wet. Carnival rides are these giant traveling death machines that have to be repeatedly dismantled and put back in a very short time period. You're talking about they bring these things into these parking lots, they unfold them out, and I'm gonna guess that there's not a lot of regulations. I don't think it's very safe. While your typical amusement park may seem more dangerous because of the scope and size of the rides, these things are constantly inspected and tested to ensure that the ride is safe as can be. But on the other hand, carnival rides are these giant traveling death machines that have to be repeatedly dismantled and put back up in a very short period of time. You're in a place for maybe a week, maybe 3 days. You fold it all up like a giant goddamn transformer cube, move it across state lines, and just keep doing that over and over again. And I'm gonna guess that I don't think that they probably do it right.
Has anybody ever seen a traveling carnival? Like, yeah, people can see the carnival pull in, but like, have you ever been on a road, like an interstate, and just see a carnival just moving down, like you just riding down the road, look to your right, and it's like a whole carnival ride go past you? Well, not a whole carnival, like the truck. I've never seen it before. I've only seen it when they came to the place. My fault.
I think, you know what, sometimes they might have had a little bit too much to smoke, a little too much to drink, a little forgetful, okay? They might be in town for only 1 week before moving off to the next location, having to rebuild it once more. This not only puts a lot of the wear and tear on the equipment, but more importantly, makes carnival rides more prone to human error if the ride is not reconstructed properly.
Let me just tighten that up there.
Over 2,000 people are injured by carnival rides each year. I thought it was going to be Over 2,000 people are injured by carnival rides each year. I thought it was going to be substantially more.
That whole thing just flew off. I just know the whole thing fly off.
Showing up to the carnival or state fairs, you'd have to assume is dwindling. There's no way it could be something that's people are like, we gotta go back. I gotta get back in there in the state fair. Not to mention there are so many videos of horrible things happening at these state fairs and carnivals that
oh, the whole ride fell off. Okay, bet. That's what we're doing now. This is why I stopped This is why I low-key stopped going to the fair, bruh. I low-key stopped going to the fair because this reason right here. I low-key cannot do this. I can't they go high and around. Like there's this hammer thing that goes upside down and junk. I remember, quick story time. I was riding the hammer thing. It went upside down and junk. It went all the way around like a big circle. I'm like 10 years old. I'm buckled in, right? We go upside down. Seatbelt falls off. Seatbelt unbuckles. I'm already panicking. I was forced to go on the ride. I'm already panicking. Seatbelt unbuckles. I'm tweaking out.
it practically acts as its own advertising to not show up. Like that clip of the ride that almost toppled over. Luckily, a bunch of people stepped in and stabilized the ride by jumping on it.
A carnival ride is out of control. You gotta be kidding me.
A carnival ride is out of control. In almost all these situations we're going to find
down.
Almost always the ride is out of control. Could you not just hit the off button or unplug it or whatever's giving it power? Just strip the power.
But that one, the guy ran.
Oh, the guy lost control of it. He just ran. Oh my God, I can't. They're like all just on trailers. So anytime something goes wrong, it's just like, fucking going all over the place, back and forth. Who sees this giant carnival ride? They're like, we gotta get on that, man. Everyone going over there, good God.
It happened at the Cherry Festival in Traverse City, Michigan.
Get over here.
Get over here. I would not be one of the people to hop up on that thing. You know, I'm not a superhero, dude. You don't see no cape on me, man. Well, especially, you know, I don't
Probably need him.
from the funnel cakes.
No offense.
Also, the ride's called the Magic Carpet Ride.
It's called the Magic Carpet Ride. Where the f is Aladdin, dude? Shut that motherfucker down. He was the guy who ran. He's like, Abu! And they just run into the forest. So today, let's dive deep down the rabbit hole of some of the most deadliest, most dangerous carnival rides on Earth. Not on any other planet. Let's start off with the Ohio State Fair Fireball Ride.
Ohio.
At the Ohio State Fair in 2017.
Oh my
the popular
gosh.
ride Fireball malfunctioned and led to 7 injuries and the death of a young 18-year-old man. Gonna say this now, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of young people death. And I'm not laughing at them. Laughing at how kind of crazy this stuff can be. The Fireball was a giant pendulum raised 40 feet off the ground that would swing back and forth while spinning at the same time.
Yeah, it was like that. The one I was on, like that, but it went all the way, like just straight all the way in the circle. It didn't spin around. It went all, like a clockwise.
Accident was
Not-
said to be
not
caused
clockwise,
by
not circle.
excessive corrosion. I like how also they're just like, so I have an idea for a ride. We'll swing giant metal bars like that. What's it attached to? An F-150. You're like, well, what else can you do? Well, f it. Let's have it indoors. No, we'll just leave it out in the rain. All the time. All the time. A video taken by an attendee shows a group of seats attached to the pendulum breaking off mid-ride, causing multiple people to be flung 20 to 30 feet into the air before plummeting to the ground. It's a hard video to watch.
Okay.
You know what's weird too is every time I see one of these videos, someone's like, where the f would you get on this ride? Every time I'm like, you could not pay my fat ass to get on this ride, especially with the guy who's just like, buckle up and be safe. Among those injured, 3 were reported to be in critical condition. All rides were immediately closed for additional safety inspections. The incident created a wave of fear amongst park goers and
Look at that. Look, I can't speak. Look at that. That's falling down. That's coming towards it. They're gonna.
carnivals across the country began shutting down rides that were similar to the Fireball or were made by the same manufacturer. The G-Force ride at the Orange County Fair was shut down due to its similarities to the Fireball. Likewise, the Beach Blaster ride at Belmont Park in San Diego was also shut down. The G-Force and the Beach Blaster, the Fireball, come on, dude. Like they're just like, sorry, buddy, take down the G-Force and the Beach Blaster. It's a goddamn death trap. Or we could talk about the 11-year-old scalped at the Cinco de Mayo Carnival.
This one's actually pretty tragic.
I think they're all going to be tragic, Nick. 11-year-old Elizabeth Gelreath was scalped, blinded, and nearly killed after the ride in the King's Crown at a carnival in Omaha, Nebraska. Scalped,
Bruh.
blinded, and nearly killed. Elizabeth attended a Cinco de Mayo carnival with her mother in 2016 and chose the King's Crown to be her first ever carnival ride. It was her first ride?
Yeah.
She is never, and I mean never, going on carnival rides ever again. Her first impression of a carnival ride left her in that state of condition. That's absolutely insane.
Oh my God. Elizabeth! The King's Crown ride consisted of a series of crown-shaped seats that would spin at high speeds, similar to the spinning teacups ride at Disneyland, dude. At one point, Elizabeth's long red hair became entangled in the mechanisms. As the ride continued to spin, her hair and scalp were being slowly peeled off her head. You know what's too is you know she was screaming in pain, but people were just like, we gotta get in line for this one.
She said she blacked out.
You would have to black out. With that kind of pain? Oh, dude. I would be beg God, I'd say, black me the out, dude. Bystanders stated the ride went on for 10 minutes as it ripped and pulled at Elizabeth's scalp. Eventually, her hair was severed, freeing her, but Elizabeth suffered critical injuries to her head. Even the muscles that were connected to her eyes were seriously damaged as well. Her hair got ripped so hard that it blinded her. Because of this,
Bro, what? Bro, what? Bro, what?
she couldn't see or speak and had to communicate through the squeezing of her hand while in the hospital. You know the expression, you get dealt a bad hand? This is a hand covered in diarrhea. That is unbelievable. Elizabeth described the feeling to her mother, saying that it felt like her head was smushed. Elizabeth had to undergo several skin grafts, head surgeries, and an eye surgery, and multiple blood transfusions. Despite the tragedy, she was in high spirits and even insisted on making a public appearance alongside her mother. Elizabeth was praised for a surprisingly positive outlook, stating, "My scars don't define me. Nobody's scars should define them."
Scars don't define me.
That's a W.
Nobody's scars should define them.
She is taking this way
That's a
better
W.
than I ever
That's a
would.
W.
I would be kicking and f***ing screaming.
That's a W.
Way more emotionally
I
mature
respect- I
than I
respect
could
that.
ever
I
be.
respect
Her mother
that.
has filed ongoing lawsuits against the state of Nebraska, as well as a company that manufactures the Carnival rides, citing negligence. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
How do you allow some spinning part?
How do you allow it? I'll tell you why. It's because the guy running the machine should have no business touching any of that equipment. I don't think I've ever been to a carnival where I'm just like, you know, I never really say this, but these carnies look very respectable. Isn't that right? And he's like a fucking belly button ring that he's like flicking. He's like doing like cigarette tricks with it. Open up to his mouth. But we move on to a teenager who died at the church carnival. A 16-year-old girl passed away after being flung from a ride called the Sizzler. I think with the amount of injuries that are happening
These
at
ride
these carnivals,
names?
I think it should be illegal to have any goofy names. I think it should just be Ride 1, Ride 2, in that order. Ride called the Sizzler at St. Thomas Aquinas Church Carnival in East El Paso, Texas. The Sizzler was a
Can't sit
popular
down, can't sit
spinning
down.
ride made for all ages. During the ride, the woman was ejected from her seat and was struck by a metal barricade. Her friend who sat beside her was also launched out the ride. Okay, I wasn't laughing. It's just the idea. You can't put launched in there without being cartoonish, okay? That is fucking horrible. Being flung and then just being immediately smashed by a fucking barricade. The girl died at the hospital soon after, and her friend luckily survived and did not receive any life-threatening injuries. So at least thank God.
But how do you live with that though? Like the friend. So not only were you also launched, but your friend is now gone. I can't even.
An investigation began, but there was no word of
Can't
legal
do
action
it.
being taken by the victim's family. Dude,
Not at all.
don't worry. This isn't the last that we'll hear of the Sizzler. Because we go on to when the Sizzler took another life! The same ride! In 2019, while attending the Deerfield Township Harvest Festival, Haley McMullen was thrown from a ride called the Extreme Super Sizzler! They made it more powerful!
Why would they make it better?
God damn.
Why would you make the pack? Why would you upgrade the ride to the Extreme Super? After what happened last time, you would do it again and just be like, yes, this is fine.
Damn Dragon Ball Z transformation, dude. Similar to the normal Sizzler, it is a ride consisting of several suspended cars spinning horizontally at high speeds. All of these ran with 4 lawnmower batteries. And a guy brought it up literally at his F-150, and it's like, don't worry, we took 7 minutes to prepare this when we got here. Have fun. It is important to note that while the ride was equipped
Don't
with
worry.
safety bars, there was no seat belts. Well, the bar should hold you in. Do we have any seat belts? You got the bar. You got fat thighs. You'll be all right. I don't know about you,
That's-
Stick Bug. Good luck. After being thrown up the
actually
ride,
insane.
Haley tried to get up from under the ride's operating platform, but was repeatedly struck in the
Bro. If I get from a ride and I'm under it, if I'm under it, right? I'm laying flat. Oh shoot, the stuff spinning. Hitting a quick spin. I'm rolling out from under them mud. I'm rolling out from under them mud. I'm not gonna. Oh, let me ding ding ding. Like.
process. This led to serious brain injury. So she was flown from it, tried getting up, and just kept doing. She was airlifted to the hospital as soon as possible, but died an hour later. The inspection reports that were released seemed to show that the ride was in full compliance with safety regulations. We need to do more with these carnival rides.
I'm
dude.
not
I'm
riding
getting
the
off
carnival
too
ride, bro.
scot-free. What are the safety regulations? All right, guys. You have to be able to pick her up and put her down in about 9 minutes. Can you do that? Living La Vida Loca at the carnival here. Or we could talk about the carnival tower slamming onto the ground. In 2022, during a traveling carnival in India, 16 people were injured after a malfunction with a drop tower carnival ride. These always scared the shit out of me. Looks like a weird flying saucer. I almost expect those motherfuckers to just You know what I mean? After rising 50 feet into the air, the carousel tower plummeted down and slammed onto the ground. The impact was so intense that the passenger seats bounced into the air from sheer force.
Dang!
Oh!
Dang!
Oh, God. How many people do you think just, like, immediately shattered their pelvis? I mean, like, on the impact there, like, your pelvis, and probably broke their spine or something. Oh, my God. You see people... God damn, it's like toss of a coin. According to an eyewitness, the bouncers of the rides were trying to threaten us. Later, the employees of the organizers also fled the scene. Wait, so eyewitness people, the people who like were running on the ride, were just like, don't fucking tell anybody. And then there were people like, the cops are coming, they just like ran once again. The carnival organizers later claimed that the entire thing was due to a technical malfunction.
You think?
The Mohali police described the organizers as, quote, negligent and stated that they wish to take strict action against those responsible. There has been no update since. Wow, God. Really good job. We need to make sure these people come to justice.
Can't do it.
How's it going? Oh, they're gone. They ran to the woods. We couldn't find them. They're gone. Or, in 2019, a 9-year-old child was injured standing next...
I've been on this ride. I've done the ride before.
To a carnival ride at a carnival in Midlothian. One of the rides, the Ferris Fury, which is a giant swinging ship with 2 large heads on either side, smashed into the neighboring ride. We have also something called the Viking's Voyage. It's like a giant boat.
Yep, that's what it is.
One time someone was going, a guy leaned his head off the side, he did, and you could just see the throw up trail all the way across. And then, like the fucking like 16-year-old kid working the like ticket booth thing, he was like, and he popped open this little shelf underneath. He just grabbed cat litter and he was like... The force of the impact caused the ride's giant pharaoh head to break off, fly into the air, and land directly on top of the child. That's just once again.
What? I can't do this. It broke off the head. The head of the ride broke off, fell, and hit the child. Just innocently standing by. You able to?
Bad luck.
Almost comedic.
Well, exactly. It's like. According to a witness, we were sitting behind the head when it fell off and hit the kid. We looked down and it was laying on top of him, and his head was full of blood. What a fucking haunting quote. Also, I felt they could have been a little more respectful. Yeah, he looked around, that kid's face was just covered in blood. Can we get out of here? I want to get stopped by the Dippin' Dot stand. Paramedics transported the boy to a local hospital to treat his injuries. The case is now under investigation. Look at that big ass head too, dude.
When I saw this picture, I thought the kid was still under there.
Like a Looney Tunes cartoon. Just my luck. Or in 2023, a 10-year-old boy named Hunter Daniels was severely injured after being flung off the Moby Dick ride at Antioch's Taste of Summer Festival. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I would go on a ride named Moby Dick. I like Moby Dick. I like the story. Captain Ahab, Starbuck. The Moby Dick ride locks down each attendee over the shoulder and rotates clockwise, gradually increasing in speed. Actually, you know what? Never mind. After seeing the picture of it, I wouldn't do that. This is just like the Magic Carpet ride. I don't. Whenever it's a long row of seats, you're not getting me on that motherfucker for real. According to Huntley, the bar that locked him in kept rising higher and higher with each turn. Oh shit. That's the problem with these things, dude. You cannot yell for help. Especially me as a kid. Anytime I was afraid, I was like, Mom! My mom would just laugh. Mom loved seeing me in anguish and peril. After trying to push it back down repeatedly, it eventually came undone, causing Elliot to be catapulted. It's not funny, but it's the verbiage of being like catapulted. He's like, oh, it gets undone. He's just, Huntley was in critical condition after the impact, receiving various facial and jaw fractures. There was significant damage to the bones in his legs as well. He was flown to multiple hospitals throughout the whole ordeal and had to receive surgery. An investigation was conducted to confirm if, quote, the incident resulted from a mechanical failure, operator error, or a combination thereof. No further update has been provided. What do these people do on researching this stuff? On following up on justice? There was an investigation to be had. We're getting down to the bottom of it. In time. A lot of time. It's like it's the Moby Dick ride, dude. If it was like a Disney park ride, I'd be like, well, of course they're gonna throw you through all kinds of loopholes and stuff. The Moby Dick State Fair ride, dude. The Carnival ride, word. Or in 2017, a 13-year-old girl in China passed away after being thrown off the Travel Through Space ride in China. You can't fucking have a kid get thrown off a ride called Travel Through Space, dude. This feels
Okay. No. Very serious. This is a serious video. I'm not going to me laughing. No. Travel through space.
It's calculated. This is what this feels like.
I
This is a
can't
ride
do.
that
I'm not
moves
gonna
at
do
very
it.
high speeds and it rotates 360 degrees vertically. During the ride, the young woman's seatbelt breaks and the safety bar meant to hold her in place was not tight enough, which sends her spinning around 360 degrees as she holds on desperately to the bar. So it flung her and she was being spun like a disc. This resulted in her slamming up against the pair of iron bars. Bystanders came to her aid and took her to the hospital, where she unfortunately passed away. The woman's family reached a compensation agreement with the park for the wrongful death of their child, which she received essentially 127,000 USD. And apparently, in December of 2016, the ride had passed inspection. Once again, I don't think these motherfuckers are really looking.
So it
I think
came.
they're just like, oh, bright colors.
It came
cool.
back.
There you go. Administrators ordered companies operating the travel through space ride across the country to immediately suspend its use. Well, this is a heartwarming.
If I know how many rides there are just around, they were suspended. They can no longer be used anywhere. They're probably like thousands. That's crazy to think about. It's crazy to think about.
Apologies for all the child mutilation and death. I thought when we were going to read this, it was going to be a lot more drunk adults doing some stupid stuff. When in fact, it's literally just the negligence of people being like, "Are you strapped in?" What? And the guy's already walking away. It's so fucked. In 2024, an 8-year-old child fell off a carnival ride in Waco, Texas, during the Extraco Event Center. It is not specified what ride the young boy was on, but the police found him with his ears sliced open from top to bottom. They found him with his ears sawed in half, basically. It was expected that the child would need surgery by a pediatric plastic surgeon. Although the ride is unknown, the fault of the injury is more so linked to the ride.
So if they don't know what ride it was, they don't know what ride hurt them, they just randomly went around and found a child with his ear sliced. Somebody who works there, somebody just randomly found a child with their ear sliced. Don't know what ride he came off of, don't know where he came from. They just randomly found this kid somewhere on the ground with his ear sliced. How many people were at the fair? Do you know how many people could have walked past that kid instantly and been like, oh, I wasn't anything? And then somebody just happened to turn their head and be like, there's a child there with his ear sliced.
Ride operator, 38-year-old Cody James Harkness. The ride operator was determined by the police officers to be under the influence of some type of combination of drugs. That's odd from a carny. That's odd from a carnival ride. That's really? Harkness already had previous convictions for drug possession and drunk driving, which didn't help his case. He was charged with intoxication assault while operating a ride. The condition of the boy is currently unknown. I hope he's okay. This feels like the last, the official beacon of like, if you've done everything wrong in your life, you can still put in a job application at a fucking carnival and get a job. How is that?
But you got your wish. Drunken person.
I don't think that was my wish. I don't think I was wishing for that. I don't think I was like, oh, please make it be a drunk guy hurting a child, please. In 2024, at the Matama Festival in Vigo, a middle-aged man was crushed to death on a ride known as the Grasshopper. The ride consists of a ring of carts that raise up and down while spinning in a circle. According to an eyewitness, one of the arms of the ride broke off while it was in the air. This caused the passenger compartment to fall on the ground, trapping the man between the seat and the railing. Oh my God. Firefighters used special equipment to free his body from the machine, but it was too late. The man died at the scene of the accident before he could be taken to a hospital. I wonder how long he was sitting there for. Was it something when they were just like, the fire department's on their way? They couldn't do anything, so it was like 20 minutes, you know, an hour, who knows? In 2017, Eugene Maharaki passed away from a fatal head injury after falling off the Cha-Cha ride at Rye Easter Carnival. The Cha-Cha ride is a low-to-the-ground ride that spins around on 2 axes, gradually increasing in speed. Eugene was placed on one of the outside seats, which were specifically meant for adults and bigger children. As the ride sped up, Eugene slipped out from under the safety bar and was flung onto the side of the ride, striking his head.
So, if it was made for adults and bigger children, well, why was he there? If it was made for adults and bigger children, and he was neither one of those, why was he there? Everybody around him saw where he was, knows about the rules, the carnival about the rules, started the ride. Everyone knows no one said anything? No one said anything at all. Okay.
Because God forbid the operators can just do their job. It's so frustrating. This child should be alive, but he's just like, I don't fucking care, dude. You buckled up or not. After being sent to the hospital, it became clear soon that there was nothing that could be done to save him. After being on life support for days, his parents eventually pulled the plug. An investigation began, and the restraints on the ride were deemed to not be compliant with the Australian standards. Evidence was slowly being gathered that suggested that Lucas Kohler, the man operating the ride, should not have been working on the ride on his own, as he was not trained enough to do so. No. Well, it's the first day here. You don't mind if I fucking work the church all day? I love that one when I was a kid. The coroner offered Whitting's Glow Amusements protection from self-incrimination in the event that they provide evidence against the claims made. Even so, they refused. God damn, dude, they're a ride or die. They're a ride or die for Lucas Kohler. They're like, he has worked here for 3 weeks, but Lucas Kohler is the sharpest egg we have. He's like smoking crack in the back corner. He's like, hey, God, hey, chaw real smooth for real. Lastly, let's talk about what happened in the Dominican Republic during the Salcedo Carnival earlier this year. While the incident didn't take place on a ride, it just goes to show how janky and unprofessional some of these carnivals can be. All of them, every single carnival. You go to a carnival, run away from that thing. The Sisters of Fate are there to cut your strings of life immediately, okay? During the event, a set of fireworks inexplicably exploded. Without question, just exploded. And it was reported that the fireworks were mishandled and directed at the attendees.
So this one wasn't even a ride. This wasn't even a ride. It was a carnival in general with fireworks. This wasn't even a carnival ride.
Before getting set off. These look like bazookas heading towards the guest, don't it? You better believe it, Bubba. But hey, but keep your fucking menthol cigarette off that wick, man. He's like, people dancing in full body costumes were suddenly engulfed in flames. It's only funny because it's just full body costumes, and just immediately they're just like, yeah, all these costumes 100% cotton. You know what? It's kind of itchy or whatever. It's great. And they just begging to be lit on fire. Amidst the chaos, bystanders rushed to grab water and ice trying to put out the flames. And it was reported that over 15 people, 10 of which were being young children, were extremely burned and had to seek immediate medical attention. Because God forbid we can go a day in a carnival without a child just fucking passing away. God forbid! The people of Mexico collectively donated 3,600 square centimeters of skin grass in order to provide aid for those affected. And that's fucking cool, dude. People are just like, I got enough skin, dude. You want my fucking skin? Here, take it. I feel like I would try to donate mine, but they'd just be like, put it back. They're just greasy, fat skin, dude, all tatted up. A 4-year-old getting this on the, yeah. 5 children have died from the incident. Of course, the youngest of which being a 5-year-old.
Oh my gosh, man. Why did Fire Hero have a full bodysuit on, bro?
World's awesome. The man handling the fireworks was Elvis Santos. He did not have the proper experience or authorization to work with pyrotechnics. The carnival operators, Nick, have broken me. I'm a broken man, I feel like, having to fuck with these carnival operators. Elvis Santos was put under house arrest and charged for his part in the detonating of the fireworks. I don't know how the fuck you could live with yourself, but, you know, there it is. In conclusion, this is just the layer of skin off the top of a giant bowl of pudding of carnival accidents, okay? It doesn't matter how fun and how many bright lights are on a machine. If it's attached to an F-150 or operated by a man that you're almost positive is high on meth, don't get on it. Don't let carnivals lure you in with shitty carnival games and funnel cakes, dude. I've been there too many times. Luckily, I'm still here. Do not let them win. If you have a child that you are taking care of, if it's your child or your friend, you know, my niece, my nephew, keep them away from me.
I'm gonna go ahead and pause it there. But, yeah, 100% that truth. Well, if I go to a carnival or a fair, I'm only going for the food. I'm not going to ride. I mean, sure, my hair probably can't get caught in anything, because, you know, but still, you know, what could happen? Hey, bro, if I like the video, I'll see you on the next one, bro. Peace.